Hi. Thank you for joining me. Jesus, it's saying that low network connection. I can still record a video, but it just won't be live. That's not trying to reconnect. Hello. Hi. Okay, my name is Chioma. Thank you for joining me. I hope you can hear me and you can see me quite clearly. Today we continue our series which we started yesterday on the Women's Week, talking about the women's health, things that affect us as women. And yesterday, if you weren't here, we started with the need to detoxify our systems, you know, the importance of detoxification. And for the rest of the week, we'll be covering many different topics. Today, we'll be talking about pain management. And in the coming days, we'll talk about high blood pressure, we'll talk about high blood sugar, we'll talk about hormonal imbalances, we'll talk about the reproductive system. And on the last day, you know, yesterday when we started, we announced that we'll be having a draw at the end of the day. If you stay with me throughout to the end of my broadcast, you stand a chance to win a nice, beautiful package of organic products to the value of $100. So, you know, it would be nice if you can stay to the end and join us so that you stand a chance to win one of those beautiful packs. Okay, so today we'll be talking about arthritis. Like I said, arthritis really is a joint disorder featuring an inflammation of the joints, and it's basically noted by the pain in your joints. Okay, so joint pain is a classic example or classic effect of arthritis. So arthritis is typically classified as a rheumatic disease. Hello, Femi. I see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I hope you stay to the end to stand the chance of winning an important prize. Thank you. Okay, so this rheumatic disease is comprised of different illnesses that feature differently, okay? And the treatment and prognosis and complications and everything is different, typically different from one person to the other. But the most important thing is that it does affect the joints, it affects the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, and could also potentially affect different parts of the body. Thank you, Uju, for joining us. Hey, hi Uju, welcome to the live broadcast. So, did you know there were over 100 different types of arthritis? Well, that's what there is, and the number is still growing, if you can believe that. So these 100 different types of arthritis range from osteoarthritis, which is a wear and tear of the ligaments and the cartilage, and rheumatoid arthritis, really, which is those associated with inflammation. Arthritis is the most common chronic illness in the United States of America, and I suspect it's the same thing for us here in Nigeria. Anyone can suffer from arthritis, from children to men to women. But you know what? Guess what? It is more prevalent among people under the age of 65. So more than 50% of sufferers of arthritis are under 65 years. And again, another fun fact, it is actually more applicable to women more than it is to men. So more than 50% of sufferers of arthritis are women. Hey, Sister Anjide, hi. My big sis, saying shout out to you. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're just talking about arthritis. So now, what are the risk factors? What are the things that predispose us to arthritis? One is age. Another one is genetics. So you can inherit it, and it could be an inherited disease. Another one we've just discussed is gender. So chances are that you're more likely to have arthritis if you're a female, and also if you're overweight or you're obese, you're more likely or more predisposed to the ailment. Okay, so if you also sustain injuries, and you sustained an injury or had an accident in any of your joints, you could potentially come down or have arthritis later on. If you're also, if you've suffered different kinds of infections, it could potentially cause it. And of course, there is the occupational hazard. So what are the signs to note or to look out for, to tell you that perhaps you need to see a doctor? When you have a limited function in your joints, when you have limited mobility, there's a loss of range of motion, you know that you need to see a doctor. When your joints are stiff, they're swollen, there's redness, and there is warmth. You touch the place, the section, and you feel warm, or that particular area feels very warm, then you need to see a doctor. Okay, so if you have all these things and you see your doctor, what are the kinds of treatments you can expect? Now, if you haven't seen your doctor, are there things you can do on your own to make you feel better, to improve your well-being while you determine when to see a doctor or you're trying to make an appointment? There are things that we call home remedies. So you can take food supplements that contain glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM. Those things have been known to have helpful effects on those swollen joints, on the pains. They've been known to reduce pain. And you can also take fish oil. Fish oil is rich in omega-3 and olive oil perhaps. It's also very helpful in combating inflammation. So they're known to have anti-inflammatory properties. So another thing we could do is lose some weight. You could, take up exercise, start to do something that helps you. It's quite painful, but you know what? I think it's something that you can do. Hey, IJ, I see you. Thank you for joining in. Okay. So we're still talking about arthritis and the management of this very painful, largely predominantly women's disease. So you can also have, if the arthritis, if you feel the pain in your fingers, okay, you can do what is called a hot wax treatment. So you can get medical wax and heat it up and dip your fingers in it for a while and reuse it continuously. And you can also do a warm body soak depending on the location of the pains. When you soak yourself in warm water for a long period of time, you get a lot of relief and warmth back in your joints. Okay, so if you also wear nighttime cotton gloves for a man or for a woman at night, so you put it on to sleep so that it protects your fingers against the cold, which can predispose it to stiffness. So you can also engage in gentle motion exercises that help you loosen your joints, that relieve the pain, or you can apply ointments. There are many different types of ointments. So you can have things like Bengay. I'm sure we're all familiar with those ones. Athicare, Voltaren gel, we can apply those ones. Now, these are all what is called home remedies because they're over-the-counter medication, okay? Now, when you need medical intervention, when you need to see a doctor, what are the things that they can potentially give you? To start out with, they will probably give you what would relieve your pain. So typically acetaminophen like Tylenol or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen, Feldene. All those are common tablets that you can use to combat, or the doctors can recommend to you. Now, the doctors would also recommend food supplements, which is really interesting. So some doctors would recommend food supplements that contain MSM, chondroitin, and glucosamine. So you might want to look at those as well, and the doctors would, bear witness to that. Bear in mind, though, I'm not a doctor, so you need to see your doctor. You need to see your doctor. That's a note of warning. I'm just an interested party who's taking the pains to learn about what can relieve our pain. Why have I become really interested in this? Why am I talking about arthritis tonight? It's Mother's Week. We all know that. It's Women's Week tomorrow, or Women's Day tomorrow. And, you know, to celebrate our mothers, I thought, let me look at the things that afflict us as women, as mothers, or afflict our mothers. You know, and some of you who know me well will know that my mom was bedridden for a number of years from arthritis. Arthritis had disfigured her joints and she was no longer able to walk. So one of the extreme sources of treatment for arthritis is actually surgery. So that's what we had to resort to. So my mom, at the age of 85, underwent kneecap replacement surgery in both legs to get her back on her feet. Did this work? Yes, it did. At least it straightened her legs. She was able to sit in a wheelchair. But was she pain-free? No, she wasn't. She was not. So we had to look for food supplements that helped her and completely eliminated the pains. Now those pains are a distant memory to her. Thank God, and thanks to nutritional medicine. So I mean, there is that option of surgery, and you can consult your doctor if your pain is severe and your joints are completely disfigured, and you know you need to do that. So the other kinds of therapy that you need to consider, we touched on them a little bit, is that you really need, if you're overweight, you really need to consider losing some weight. You need to consider exercising. You need to probably get a physiotherapist to work with you, and you can also get the help of physical aids. So a physical therapist can recommend some physical aids that will help you, like support devices like braces, walkers, canes, splints. Those things can help relieve the pain and relieve you and enable you to function optimally. Okay, so is there a way to prevent this very devastating and challenging problem that we're faced with? Is there any way to prevent it? Well, if you can avoid getting injured, that would be a good way. That sometimes is not so possible, but you know, avoiding injury is one way. But I think really, because there's no way to avoid it, the most important thing for us to do is to get it diagnosed early enough. Early diagnosis would help you to live a much more stable life. Okay, so ladies, that was a call coming in. Sorry about that. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in, and remember, tomorrow is another date with us. We're going to be talking about blood pressure, the causes. We're going to be talking about high blood sugar, and anything that will potentially stop you from living a healthy life. This guy is not taking no for an answer, is he? So I look forward to having you tomorrow. Leave me your comments. It'll be great to know what you thought. If you liked the video, if you liked the information, if it was helpful, and if you have any questions, please send me a message right now or later on. Now, the other thing for you to note is that at the end of this broadcast, I will post a link where you can ask for the products that we've used effectively to combat this problem, the natural products that we have used. Please reach out to me and I'll tell you what it is that you can do to help you live a more effective life and a fuller life. Love you. Take good care. Peace. Bye.